How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today we've got a few different missions. First one, I wanted to go and inspect the concrete plant to get that done. My overall goal since yesterday, there's like a drawbridge up. My plan was to get that to drop, but it keeps implying like it's about to, and then yeah, it's not gone so far, so Loaf had to take matters into his own hands. Yeah, so I'm going to come round here. There's just 3 locations I've got to search. The reason I've got a Land Rover basically packed up is 2 of those sections seem like they're going to be easy to inspect, but the last one looks like I might have to drop in the hole. That's what she said. So yeah, I wanted to take a Land Rover. Managed eventually to get a barrel to balance on it so I could strap it down. Long story short, it was going pretty bloody slow on the way, so at some point I thought, sod it, I'll pull it over, bring a step pike and see if I can load it on. Sorry for the terrible camera angle there, but I believe it was struggling because it was bottoming out on the back of the sideboard, which, as I said yesterday, I think when I first got it, was like, that's probably going to be kind of quite awkward, if anything. It's going to catch on that. Switching to the pipe. One cool thing though, I've still got the barrel strapped to the Land Rover via this epic crane thing. Folded the ramps up, but it still let me pack the barrel basically on the step pike, even though it's on the Land Rover in the epic on the step pike. So I do quite like that. Again, why on earth they've just not let us officially strap vehicles when the straps are so cool, like well done, and just strap everything going that it yeah, it goes through like a few different vehicles just to strap that barrel down that's already strapped on a different vehicle as well. Driving here, I've got to be honest, I didn't really get much faster because this step pike, I do like it, it's really good and everything, but the weight sits too far back on it, so as soon as you've got anything remotely heavy on it, the step pike just wheelies. It needs the axles moved further back or more weight up front or something. As I was driving here, I don't really know what I hit, to be honest, but started tipping over to the side. Turns out, though, pretty bloody lucky that I had the Land Rover packed in sideways the way it was and all the rest of it, because, yeah, as you can see, the step pike and the epic thing was engine not running, but as soon as I undid the straps, obviously the Land Rover's already there on its wheels. So, yeah, it ended up working out alright. As far as lifting, do you know what, lifting the Land Rover into the epic, it wasn't difficult, but it definitely seems like it's a bit heavier than the Don 72 Malamute, because when I was messing around with that, the crane seemed to pick it up a bit easier. I had to kind of have the crane nearer to my truck and kind of retract it as much as possible before it actually kind of properly lift it and all the rest of it. Yeah, pretty easily got these flipped over. The Land Rover's actually like a really good scout. So it's one of them. They've made it like the first vehicle you get in the game, but yeah, it's solid, like, it's decent. So, like, when I played SnowRunner, I did the first mission when I got the footage the other week, starting the whole game again using the CK1500 or whatever. Yeah, that's an absolute, like, nightmare stock CK, but the stock Land Rover is good. The reason I left that bit in, there's, like, a giant crater I've got to go and inspect. But this thing started dropping the hammer once I actually got onto sand, so it's something I've actually been noticing the last few days, and I've not mentioned it, I don't think, but when you're driving along in the Mule, like on a road, I swear the rear wheels particularly are wheel spinning, like they're moving faster than they're driving along the road. And yeah, given that this thing wasn't that rapid on the road, but then when it got into that sand it started dropping the hammer, I've got a feeling like the grip or whatever's going on the roads is like not enough, so I think the Mule is wheel spinning, which is partially why it's bleeding some of its power. And the same with this thing. I don't know if I go as far as to say it's wheel spinning, but at the same time, you know, imagine like instead of driving on concrete or the road, you're sort of driving on ice, where I suppose it would be like wheel spinning a bit, but you just kind of, you're not gripping in and being lunged forward by your traction, it's just kind of skipping around and you're sort of moving forward. I know that's probably terribly explained, but yeah, the fact that this thing, like, I mean, I brought the step pike because it was so slow on the road, but when I was particularly, I didn't even really notice it, but when I was watching the footage back editing, I was like, bloody hell, that thing's moving pretty rapidly all of a sudden. Yeah, as you can see, these are a little bit awkward. To be honest, you can drive a Land Rover in there. I would recommend doing it this way just because it's quicker to travel to them, but yeah, eventually I send a Land Rover for the third one. And while I was waiting, a little bit later on, I was waiting for the weather. It was only dusk sort of thing or whatever. I was just waiting for it to be like midday sun. And while I was waiting for that, I just came back over here with the Land Rover and drove it back out of this gigantic crater in the ground. Yeah, overall, like I say, this thing, it's not that rapid. See how, like, it's definitely slower now than it was on that sand by, what I argue, a considerable margin. And if you look at the tracks, you might even be able to dare say it sort of looks like they're travelling faster than you're travelling. Yeah, jumped in this thing. One thing I do like with scouts in this game, they do actually drop the hammer, to be fair. Like, I'm definitely happy with that speed and all the rest of it. It's still just about controllable. I can still go into low if I want. I can still feather the throttle, but being able to drop the hammer and get across the maps is quite nice. Yeah, as you can see, it was better in the end. I got the Land Rover and kind of drove the other way round into the concrete plant because there's like a big metal thing in the way. I would be able to ram it out of the way, but I believe you can cash it in for scrap. So instead of knocking it down into this crater, I'll kind of leave it at the top. Yeah, and like Kelly's saying, she's seen some things. So the concrete plant's still in usable condition. Started looking around like, what? Are we looking at the same concrete plant? She's like really happy saying, oh, at least it's not completely destroyed. Like, really? This probably does look like an Iranian nuclear base at the minute. Yeah, I don't know how she figured that the concrete slab facility is in good nick, but it's not looking particularly healthy to me. Don't know what else she said. She distracted me when she said that. It unlocked a mission. You can see in the background there's a yellow square to build a road. That's while I was messing around with the Land Rover. I did drive it back out. It was a little bit fiddly because there's lots of rocks and all the rest of it. Yeah, the next mission is activate this crane at the resort. It's got another one of these like puzzle missions where you're driving around a construction zone. There's a generator you've got to go and get and bring it back there. And to be honest, this mission itself, I sort of, in a weird way, don't like them, and in a weird way I do like them. I think it's a bit of a random aspect to have in a game. It's like sort of a bit of a puzzle solver, figuring out what's going on. You could see those stairs behind me. Also these bags of cement next to me. Maybe the Malamute could climb up there, but it'd be easier to go this way. Funnily enough, you know most things you can't ram over in this game. I just drove forward thinking, oh, I'll just glance off the fence, nearly flew off. It's kind of lucky that I hit the post in the end. Yeah, so you can see there's like a big concrete slab that I'm approaching. Again, like, it's a random feature to have even in a game like this, that you've just, the fact that you've got to keep weaving your way through like semi-built buildings. I could have and should have gone back the long way, but I tried to jump, give it a go, did some kind of judo flip. On the funny side, I was like, oh, there's a toy truck sat under there. Yeah, one thing they need to fix with this game, because I don't like it, and it almost makes like semi-pointless having a winch. You just end up dragging back and forth like this all the time. And I'm still holding the winch the entire time, but if you hear there, it goes completely silent, and that also throws you off a bit, because sometimes when you're doing the winch it goes quiet and you think, oh, it's not doing anything. They're still weak and need a bit of boosting, but yeah, eventually I was able to leave them a way around. I drove back out there. The reason I cut it is the camera is like half rammed into the vehicle, but I basically drove under where I am now, back out to the start and drove back up. I went in third person for this. Probably not the best vehicle, because between all like the roll cage over the bonnet and the snorkel to the right hand side, you can't really see sod all, and yeah, it made it a bit awkward driving through bits like that. Those red things is the thing I winched to. That's whatever they are, they're what I'm gonna collect with the crane on the next mission. But yeah, weaving my way around. They've put the generator kind of under here. I mean, you can't power that crane. You need to get this to the crane to work it. But yeah, there's no way you're going to get this generator any other way other than zipping through here, really. Well, actually, saying that, I suppose you could use a bit of a cheeky sort of cheat method, actually. Because where I'm going to take this now, I mean, obviously now I've got it here, but I'm surrounded by rocks. So, and I'm not going to realistically be able to get it out of here with a Hummer. There is those rocks you can see I'm driving up to. I just wouldn't fancy my chances of being able to drive up them, let alone dragging the generator as well. So I don't think I can go that way. I don't think I can go round that way. And then I also noticed they've built like a fence along here, so you can't even just say pull a crane up to where I am now. It really wants you to go to the end of these rocks. And the reason I mentioned that's like a bit, yeah, you'll see in a minute. Obviously, ideally, maybe I'm being a bit too, trying to be too neat and precise about it. But I need / want to get the generator as close to the edge of those rocks as I can, but I'm dragging it behind me. And then I caught my Hummer on a little rock and it just wouldn't climb it. I ended up getting stuck at this angle. The generator dropped off the bloody cliff. I think I reverse now and I almost drop off the cliff. All I want to do is point my Hummer that way and drive forward a bit more, but every time this keeps falling off, and the steering, you don't get a lot of money out of your steering input in this game. You do when you're just driving along, but in times like this, like no matter how many, 18-point turns you do, you barely get any sort of like movement over because it kind of skids around a little bit. I was getting a little bit sick and tired of it at this point. Eventually got it round facing that way. Violently reversed it close enough to the wall. Yeah, I suppose, where I've just reversed up with a Hummer, maybe if you jumped down there with the Hummer, you could just drive straight up to the generator and not have to kind of weave your way through the building. So I brought this Mule. There's another issue that, funnily enough, I suppose it pertains to the grip I was talking about as well. It couldn't even get up these stairs, and I think that's a bit crap, to be honest. Like, in real life, I think it would anyway. The stairs are like right-angled concrete solid blocks. Anything should climb up there, really. And then when I was reversing, even though I was turning the opposite way and all sorts, I cut most of it out, but it just kept reversing into these bloody posts. Look, the steering's facing the opposite way and all sorts. But the reason I was going up there, I was going to grab that toy truck. And I just thought, I'll quickly do that, because by the time I deliver some other stuff, I'm near the construction plant. The reason I've got 134 grand now, by the way, is I went back to Sunken, and there was a barrel I was in the middle of trying to get off the port roof, and then there's also one I found at the lighthouse, but I found it a while ago, but you have to build a bridge to get to it, so I didn't bother with it like a week or so ago, but then now I was like, I actually had stuff in my storage, and it wasn't that bad to drive some slabs over there and build a bridge. So yeah, I went and cashed in a load of stuff on Sunken, really, and boosted my money back up, since I kind of skinted myself yesterday buying the scalper and that epic crane thing. Yeah, I'll have to, well, I can't really look into it now because I've done the mission, but yeah, if anyone fancies cutting out the construction zone and just jumping off the cliff where my Hummer is and grabbing the generator the cheeky way. I can't think of any reason off the top of my head why it wouldn't work. It's these decking parts. When you said post-haste, or like what? I thought you said prostate. Talking about tasty burgers. Fair burger. Yeah, whatever she's going on about. You need to get like the 6 red plate things you need. You got to use these cranes. I don't mind using these cranes, to be honest. It's not great for, like video footage because it's a bit slow. The only thing I think is a bit odd, you've got to pick 6 of these up, but they've randomly put a load of concrete slabs in front of them. So every time you go back, you've got to keep cycling through all the concrete slabs just to get to where it's going to pick one of the decking up. Bit of a, just if I was designing the mission, I'd make it a bit more clean. I'd just move those concrete slabs out of the way so you don't have to keep faffing around with that all the time. Yeah, drop it. It's slammed in the sideboard, and obviously I'm cutting ahead now just to the last one because it's basically that 6 times. Drop that one. I was pretty happy with it though. 6 out of 6 made it into the sideboard. Bit of a random pile, but another cool thing I do like with this game, the straps just, if it's roughly on or in your sideboard, these straps will attempt to lock it down. And they actually do pretty well with it, to be fair. I don't think I've ever had any hiccups going on with it, really. Closest I had, actually, was in Incommunicado. I piled a load of scrap up on my vehicle, and occasionally when I unstrapped it, it'd shift around and fell off when I stacked all the tyres, but it was some sketchy stacking. Yeah, that's where I got, and I was like, oh, nice view, shame it's not bright sun. And then I was like, right, I'll nip off, and I drove the Land Rover out, and then came back when it was sunny. Yeah, driving this thing along, Kelly pops up, I think.
Have I ever told you I really envy you sometimes? Ah, who am I kidding? That's all the time. You get to visit all these exotic
after the Loaf.
locations, and they all look so great on your video feed. It's like you're
Watching
on
my channel.
vacation, where everything is trashed. Still, I really need a vacation.
It made me laugh though, because just like, still I really need a vacation. It's like, why are women? Why don't they just say to you, hey, I would like to go on vacation. Could you take me on vacation, please? But instead, it's like, whoa, I'd really love a vacation. And then, oh, last night I had a dream about going on a vacation. Oh, look, my star sign this week says I'm going to go on a vacation. And then they start liking stuff on Facebook about vacations. And then you go, do you want to go on vacation? And they're like, oh my god, what? I never even thought of that. What made you think of that? It's like, your dreams and star signs and Facebook posts and hints. It's like, yeah, they can't just ask. They won't have it. It's like, drop a million hints and wait for you to, I don't know, put 2 and 2 together. Floored it around that corner. It, like, purposely full-on steering, full floor in it. It didn't even tip with even there. You hear now, climbing up this road, it starts dropping down gears. It's like, for the love of God, Mule. We get it. You have gears. Just please stick to a gear and give me some power. Yeah, I mean, at times, I've got plenty of Mule footage all over here, there, and everywhere. Yeah, I'm pretty convinced it is wheel spinning on, like, tarmac and all that. Just before, because I thought the bridge was going to drop, so I was like, get me Loaf back there. And, yeah, it gets first dibs on the bridge. Drive this in here, doesn't even make you unstrap it or anything. Bring decking parts to the river lock. Objectives complete. It said earlier, like, I don't know, lay a cable. It's said about 5 times now. Something to do with this bloody river lock. Yeah, and then it keeps not dropping the bloody bridge. Looking through the menu, like, take a transformer, research the historical sites, whatever the other one was, deliver something, I think. Yeah, it's having none of it. At that point, I was getting mad with the Loaf. I was like, right, that's it. The Loaf. Loaf needs to escape this island. I'm not taking this abuse anymore. Yeah, so I got the Aramatsu crayfish thing out. Got some logs. There's not many logs to choose from on this map, just while I was skimming past there. Nice. Yeah, it definitely is not a tree-filled map. Driving this over, you can see where I've initially built a bridge. So just up, you can see the Loaf still sat on the raised-up drawbridge. This couldn't quite get up here. Sadly, I drove the Loaf up, it pulled it up there, a piece of piss, but I must have left it too long. I only, like, saved the last 15 minutes of footage. You can see it was almost skidding off at that point, and I was like, oh god, don't, because I don't want to lose 4 logs in the water. Yeah, again, you look on the map of tree resources on this map, there's sod all, really. I had to kind of cover a quarter of the map to get about 4 trees. So I deleted the bridge and moved it over because there was a fence in the way. You can see the 4 logs that were kind of just north of where I planted the bridge. The Loaf was already there because it pulled the log forwarder up there. Yeah, that's why I built the bridge sort of off to the side here, because this first rail, I could drag like a, what do you call it, a barrel over here or whatever. I brought the bowhead at some point, but it won't let you dump sand anywhere on this entire concrete structure. But yeah, I could have brought like a barrel and used it to bump over the fence. But I couldn't be bothered, it was just quicker. Well, if you delete the bridge, it just stacked 4 logs back where I was sat anyway, and then I just moved the bridge down. Yeah, driving over here, a little bit awkward getting over this fence, had to do a few little run-ups. I thought, yes, I've escaped. I was looking around like, hang on a minute. Like, what the hell, there's another fence? Why would you have a road, like here, and it's blocked by a fence? And again, you can't lay sand or anything. I actually, not now I did, but when I was moving around with the Loaf, I actually bumped him up the curb, and I reckon I could jump that wall. But I had the bowhead nearby. It started swinging it around like, shift the weight. And, yep, goodbye, cruel world. Shifting the weight did not work, but you can see as I was spilling sand everywhere, it didn't leave a drop anywhere, it just vanishes into thin air if you dump it anywhere over here. So yeah, quick quit and reload did the job. There's me thumbnail. Climb over the wall. And I kind of, at this point, because the sand wasn't dumping, I 95% was sure I wouldn't be able to, but I thought maybe on the other side I'll be able to dump a bit of sand and it'll sort of overflow. Long story short, it didn't, so Loaf uses his noggin. I was like, aha, I know how to get over here. It's not my first rodeo. I spent 4 or 5 years playing SnowRunner. know a thing or two about using a loaf to escape various situations. Yeah, so you kind of turn the bowhead sideways, used its tracks to climb up. We've got the dumper out of the way so I can drive over the middle of it. I think we're almost... Now there's another bloody fence, like, for Christ's sake. There's the drawbridge thing you can see in the top left. But I can see up here, it gets too steep. There is no fence. You can't fence a loaf in. That's why he's celebrating with his horn. Yeah, again, I mean, like this. That's the same slope equivalent that the log forwarder couldn't get up that. Goddamn professional. Not only does he get up there, like, he doesn't bow to rocks. Goes where he wants to go. Could have just done a 3-point turn and gone to the right, but no. My loaf wants to head north. Took a little bit of jiggling, but we got there. Goddamn professional, get yourself a loaf. They made it a lot more bloody awkward than it should be. Again, I don't care that the drawbridge hasn't dropped, but stop telling me every bloody mission that it's, oh yeah, get this done and it'll fix the bloody river lock. It ain't fixing shit. Sorry, some kind of lowrider wheelbarrow. I don't know why I left it in, but yeah, look. Like a wheelbarrow for midgets or something. I don't know why it's so low. I was mesmerised by it for a few seconds. Carried on driving, like, I'm now on the other side of the map, really, that I've not officially unlocked yet. While I was driving along, found another sand quarry. I've not activated it yet. I don't even think I'd be able to afford it, because I've only got 2 fuel. Although I could go to the construction zone now and buy more fuel, so I suppose I could. But there's no point yet. I'm not even officially on this side of the island. I just left that bit in. There's actually some pretty deep sand. It didn't get the loaf stuck, but it was chewing through it a lot more, like, goes a lot deeper. That's what she said. Yeah, there's another view of, like, right at the back of that view is the side of the map I'm on. I have to go for a belly flop. You see, this is another reason to get yourself a loaf, why I like it. You fall over and it's like, oh no, I have fallen over. Whatever shall I do? And it's like, anyway, loaf, stop fucking around. We have land to explore and conquer. And he's back. Let's give him a wiggle, and he's good to go. Found some more land. It's random, and I don't know if it is, but that island in the back's got a rock. I know there's some achievement. I've not looked at them for a few weeks, but it says something about visiting a rock or something. That's a potential candidate there. There's like the top corner of the map. I've basically, the resort where I did the generator thing was the bottom left of the map. I'm now basically at the top right, so I've kind of diagonally uncovered it up to now. Another belly flop. He saves himself. Yeah. Pretty good stuff. That's about it for today, though. Get yourself a loaf, goddamn professional, and I'll be back soon.